The Kingdom of My Divine Will in the Midst of Creatures. Book of Heaven, Volume 34, Part 1. JMJ. Fiat. In voluntate Dei. Deo gratias. December 2nd, 1935. How the divine will darts through the creature and forms in her the divine nobility. And performing the role of actor, it renders God and the creature inseparable. Example: the sun. My King of love, Jesus, and my divine Queen Mamma, oh please braid my will with yours and make them one. Even more, enclose me inside your hearts, that I may write, not outside of you, but either inside the heart of my Jesus, or on the lap of my celestial mother, so that I may be able to say, it is Jesus who is writing, and my mamma who is feeding me the words. Therefore help me, and give me the grace to conquer the great repugnance I feel in starting yet another volume. You, who know my state. I feel the need to be sustained, fortified, and totally renewed by the power of your divine fiat, to be able to do in everything and always your divine will. So I was feeling immersed in the divine volition, which took the aspect of actor, to be able to enter into the inmost receptacles of my soul and form its operating act in me. I remained surprised, and my sweet Jesus, visiting my little soul, all goodness told me, my blessed daughter, when the creature does and lives in the divine will, our Supreme Being darts through her with its light continuously. It darts through her mind and casts into it the nobility of the divine thoughts, in such a way that she feels in her intelligence, memory, and will the sanctity, the remembrance of her Creator, the love and the will of He, who, assuming the role of actor, forms in it the divine order and wisdom, and darting through it with its kisses of light, it casts the divine substance into her mind in such a way that everything is noble, everything is holy, everything is sacred in her. This actor of my volition, forming its dwelling in the created intelligence, with its power and mastery, forms in it its image. It darts through her heart and forms the nobility of love, of the desires, of the affections and heartbeats. It darts through her mouth and forms the nobility of the words. It darts through her works and steps and forms holy works and the nobility of the steps. And it darts not only through the soul, but also through the body. And with its light, it invests her blood and ennobles it in such a way that the creature feels the fullness, the sanctity, the substance of divine nobility flow within her blood and through her members. This actor of my divine will takes the office of insuperable artisan, of transforming God in the creature and the creature in God. When my will has reached this, which is the greatest act it can do, that is, to form of God and of the creature one single life, rendering them inseparable from each other, it rests in its work, and feels such happiness in it, because it has conquered the creature. It has formed its work in her, and has fulfilled its will. Then it seems that in the emphasis of its love it says, I have done everything. There is nothing left for me to do, other than possess her and love her. I remained pensive in hearing this, and my lovable Jesus added, My daughter, why do you doubt? Doesn't the sun also do this office? As it darts through the flower with its light, so does it give it the substance of its color and fragrance. As it darts through the fruit, so does it infuse in it sweetness and taste. As it darts through the plants, so does it communicate to each of them the substance and the effects that befit them. If the sun does this, much more so does my divine will, which can do anything, and knows how to do everything. And just as the sun keeps looking for the seed in order to give what it possesses, so does my divine will keep searching for creatures who want to live of my will, darting through them immediately, communicating divine substance and nobility, forming and making its life grow in them. Fiat. December 8th, 1935. Prodigies of the Immaculate Conception. Communication of divine rights. How God does not want to do anything without his celestial mother. I was doing my round in the acts of the divine will, and as I arrived at the act in which the omnipotent Fiat created the Immaculate Virgin, I stopped. And oh, what a surprise of unheard of prodigies united together! The enchantment of the heavens, of the sun, and of all creation could not compare to it. Oh, how they were left behind in front of the sovereign queen! And my sweet Jesus, in seeing me so surprised, told me, My blessed daughter, you must know that there is no beauty, nor value, nor prodigies that can be compared to the Immaculate Conception of this celestial creature. My omnipotent Fiat made of her a new creation. Oh, how much more beautiful and more prodigious than the first! My divine volition in itself has no beginning and no end. And the greatest prodigy was that in this creature it was as if it were reborn. And not only this, but it grew in each instant, act, and prayer that she did. And in this growth, my will multiplied its prodigies in an infinite way. The creation of the universe was done by us in an admirable way, and it was kept by us under the empire of our creating and preserving act, without our adding anything. But in this Virgin we maintain the creating, the preserving, and the growing act. This is the prodigy of prodigies, the life of our will being reborn in her, and its continuous growing in each act that she did. And in order to be reborn in her, our fiat pronounced itself in the act of her conception. And once it is pronounced, our act possesses such sumptuousness, sublimeness, height, immensity, and power as to catch everyone in the net of its love. It puts no one aside. Everyone can take the good that our operating fiat possesses, unless someone did not want to. Our divinity, in seeing this holy creature as though reborn in our will, shared with her its divine rights in such a way that she was the owner of our love, power, wisdom, and goodness, and queen of our fiat. With her growing act in our volition, she captivated us. She loved us so much, to the point of loving us for all. She covered all creatures. She hid them inside her love. And she made us hear the echo of the love of all and of each one. Oh, how we felt bound and made as though prisoners by the love of this most holy Virgin. More so since, as she loved us, adored us, prayed and operated with the growing act of our fiat that she possessed, so did she enclose her Creator within herself. As she loved us, so did we feel absorbed into her, unable to resist her. Her power was so great that she dominated us and enclosed our sacrosanct Trinity within herself. And we loved her so much that we let her do whatever she wanted. Who would have the heart to deny her anything? Rather, we felt happier in contenting her, because a soul that loves us is our happiness, for we feel the echo, the joy of our happiness in her. And one who possesses our will as life is everything for us. This is the great prodigy of one who possesses our will as life, to feel herself as sharing in its very divine rights. And with this, she feels that her love never ends, and she has so much of it as to be able to love for all and give love to all. With her growing act, she never says enough to her sanctity. More so since, by possessing our will as life, the sovereign queen had always something to give us, always something to say. She kept us always occupied, and we had always something to give, and always our loving secrets to communicate to her, so much so that we do nothing without her. We deal with her first, then we deposit that good in her maternal heart, and from her heart it descends into the fortunate one who must receive that good. Therefore, there is no grace that descends upon earth. There is no sanctity that is formed. There is no sinner that is converted. There is no love that departs from our throne. which is not deposited in her heart of mother first, and she forms the maturation of that good. She fecundates it with her love, she enriches it with her graces, and if needed, with the virtue of her sorrows. And then she deposits it in the one who must receive it, in such a way that the creature who receives it feels the divine paternity and the maternity of her celestial mother. We can do it without her, but we don't want to. Who would have the heart to put her aside? Our love, our infinite wisdom, our very Fiat impose themselves on us, and don't let us do anything that would not descend through her. See, then, to what extent our love reaches for one who lives of divine will, to the point of doing nothing without her. It is the harmony of our infinite wisdom that just as the creation of the universe always revolves around us, and as it revolves, the earth is fecundated, and the natural life of all creatures is maintained, in the same way, this new creation of the conception of the Immaculate Lady revolves always around God, and God revolves around her, and this revolving maintains the fecundity of good, forms the sanctity of souls, and the calling of creatures to God. Fiat. December 15th, 1935. How true love wants to make itself known. It expands and flies in search of the beloved, because it feels the need to be loved in return. Power of the creating act that one receives when going around in the creation. My poor mind is transported constantly into the sea of the divine will, which makes present to me, and keeps as though in act, everything it has done for love of the creatures. And it longs for them to recognize what it has done, how much it has loved us, and it awaits us into its acts in order to tell us. Let us do this together. Don't let me operate by myself, so that what I did you may do as well. And in this way we shall be able to say with equal love, we have loved each other. How beautiful it is to be able to say to each other, you have loved me, and I have loved you. It is the reward for the greatest works and the most painful sacrifices. Then my mind was going around in the creation, within that act in which the omnipotent Fiat, pronouncing itself, created and stretched out the azure heavens, as well as my eternal love, so as to have me together with it in this act. And my sweet Jesus made feast, because he had company, and making me pause, told me, my good daughter, to love without making oneself known is against the nature of true love. In fact, true love of its own expands and runs. It flies in search of the beloved, and only when, finding her, encloses her and hides her within itself, then does it stop, and transforming her into its own flames, it wants to find its same love in her, and its same works done by the beloved as the requital of its love. And since the creature can never do what we do for her, our love, in order to obtain the intent, calls the creature to itself. It hides her within its own love, and it lets her operate together with our creating and preserving act. In this way, the creature can say, in reality, I have loved you. What you have done for me, I have done for you. And we, in reality, feel loved back by her with our love and with our same works. You must know that as the creature rises with her will into our own, inside the works created by us, our Supreme Being renews upon her the creating act. And oh, the wonders we perform, of graces, of sanctity, of heavens and suns, inside her soul. Our act delights in repeating itself, and as she goes around in the created things, our love wants to make itself known. It wants her to touch with her own hand how much it loves her, and it repeats upon her our creating act, which is never subject to ceasing, in such a way that she feels all the ardor of our love, the power of our works, and taken by awe, she loves us with our own creative strength that we infused in her. And oh, our contentment in seeing ourselves known and loved by the one we love so much. Indeed, this is why we created so many things, because we were waiting for the creature in order to make known how much we love her, and to give her in each created thing the potential of our love in order to be loved back. When it is not known, love becomes unhappy, and when it is not requited by the beloved, it feels its life being lost, hindered, its steps broken, and its most beautiful works being put into oblivion. On the other hand, when it is known and loved, its life is multiplied. And here comes our creating act upon the creature, so as to be loved back as we love her. Our steps are free, or rather, they fly to capture our beloved creature, clasp her to our bosom, to love her and be loved by her. Our love feels the happiness of the love that she brings to it. Therefore, there is no greater honor that she can give us than for her to come into our divine will. As soon as we see her coming, we place all creation at her disposal, because it is hers. It was made for her. And as she goes around in each created thing, she finds our creative power, which, investing her, communicates our love that each of them possesses. And she can love us with our same creative strength that springs up. And she can love us the way she wants and how much she wants. And in this way, the love of the Creator and of the creature exchange the kiss. One rests within the other, and both feel the contentment of truly loving each other. Oh, how beautiful is the company of the one who loves us! Our contentment is so great that our love rises and invents new works, more beautiful, and new industries of love, to love and be loved. Fiat. December 29th, 1935. The royal palace of the creature in the union of the divine unity. How she remains enclosed in it, and how she can form the rarest beauties and the enchantment for her very creator. I am in the arms of the divine Fiat, which attracts me so much that my little nothing feels dissolved within the all. And even though dissolved, it feels its life sustained, nourished, vivified by the all. And if, God forbid, I wanted to subtract myself, which can never be, because I would find not even a hole where to enclose myself without finding my all, oh, then I would feel my little nothing without life. So I felt that the divine volition was blowing its breath over my nothing, and made me feel its life, its love, its power. But while my mind was swimming in the all, within its interminable light, my beloved Jesus, visiting my little soul, all goodness told me, my little daughter of my will, how surprising, marvelous, sublime is the operating in my divine volition, as the creature does her act in it. Her act remains stripped of what is human, and unifying itself, it acquires the union of the unity of the divine act. Now the creature holds her royal place, her act in the unity of our single act. And therefore, if she loves in our unity. If she adores us, if she blesses us, it is inside our unity. If she comprehends us, she does so within our unity. She sees, does, and feels nothing outside of us, but everything inside our divine being. She can say, I do not know, nor do I love or want anything but the divine will alone. That its unity keep me enclosed inside. Now the greatest fortune, the grace most sublime for the creature, and the greatest glory and honor for us, is to possess the human will, its act inside our unity. And do you know why? Because we can give love as much as we want, and be loved as much as we desire. We can enrich her with grace, with sanctity, with beauty, so much as to feel enraptured by the very goods and beauty we have infused in her. In sum, we can interact with the creature, love her, entrust the all to the nothing, because she possesses something of our own. And she will feel such power and love as to be able to defend the all. And we feel safe in this nothing, because we have surrendered to it our weapons to keep us safe and defended. But this is not all. Everything that the creature can do, her natural actions, the most indifferent acts, the words, the works, the steps, by possessing her act within our unity, becomes the effect of her act united with ours, symbolized by the sun, which, with the effects of its light, forms the beauty, the flowerings, the enchantment for all creation. In the same way, as the creature is invested by the light of my fiat, everything becomes the effect of it. One is the act, one is the will, but the effects are innumerable, such that they can form the beauties most rare and the enchantment most seducing for the one who created her, and who possesses her within his unity. My daughter, our Supreme Being possesses one single act. Therefore the whole creation and all creatures are nothing other than the effect of the unity of our act. Hence the human will, unified with ours, becomes our continuous effect. And do you know what this means? Giving always to the creature and receiving always from her. Now I remained stupefied and fixed in the divine volition, and I comprehended many things of this union of the divine unity. And while it was one, it enclosed all creation, and all were enclosed in this unity, and had sprung out from it, but sustained, unified, bound within this unity. And since it is one and all, it sustains and gives life to everything. At that moment, I looked at the sky, and I could see many lights of diverse beauty, which possessed all the varieties of colors, but in such an admirable way as to be enrapturing. These lights meandered in the azure vault, and while they were many, they formed a single one, penetrated into the heavens, and descended down below. They wanted to give life of light to all. They never stopped. They ran. They flew. And my sweet Jesus added, "My daughter, these lights are the marvels of the acts done in my divine will. How beautiful they are! They carry the imprint of their Creator." Fiat. You have reached the end of the Book of Heaven, Volume 34, Part 1. Fiat.